Good evening, NWS Revolution members and viewers. This is your NWS Head of Talent Relations, Michael Cole. Filling in for play-by-play commentator Joe Galli. And I got Joe Galli's broadcast colleague with me, Mr. Dan Lambert. Please introduce yourself, good sir. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is your NWS Revolution play-by-play, the NWS Revolution color commentator Dan Lambert. But today, me and the NWS Head of Talent Relations, Michael Cole, are going to give you our full NWS Revolution Impact review. And Michael Cole is going to start with the very first match that was booked. That was booked, and it was Tony Jr. II taking on Impact Wrestling's Rhino in a one-on-one straight-up wrestling match. Take it away. But take it away, Michael Cole. Thank you, Joe Galli. Before we get to the first match, thank you, Dan Lambert. Before we get to the first match, I just want to say, get well to Joe Galli. You are one of the best play-by-play commentators here in the NWS Revolution, and what the NWS Adventures did to you was absolutely deplorable, and it was an uncalled for. And as Scotty, Gale, and Cody must have said, it will not go down unpunished. There's more punishment headed to Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, and all the NWS Avengers way. And they won't like, and as ScottyBadBones says, they will not like the end result. Right? So, Joe Galli and Dan Lambert did indeed welcome the fans to the Footprint Center in Arizona and plug the open fight night. But before the first match, it was Senator from Bernie Sanders introduces the NWS Revolution owner, chairman, and CEO, Scott Gale, also known as ScottyBadBones, as he is accompanied by a special counsel and the NWS Head Talent Relations, me, Michael Cole. I get on the mic and say how great it is to have Scott Gale back as owner, the chairman, and CEO of NWS Revolution. How awesome it is to have him reincarnated into ScottyBadBones as he and Scott Gale went over all the contract negotiations, and deals have all been finalized. And now it is official. Scott Gale, also known as ScottyBadBones, is the true owner, chairman, CEO of NWS Revolution. It is a new era. As I, Michael Cole, give the microphone to one ScottyBadBones. As he speaks, he asked the fans, "Did you miss me?" And they said, "Oh, hell yeah," and cheer him on. Scott says all we needed to say about 46th President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris and the NWS Avengers in his promo and interview with me, Michael Cole, last Saturday, and got everything he needed off his chest. Then he says how good it is to be back home in his home, the NWS Revolution, and he promises the fans a great show with a few surprises that will out deliver. ScottyBadBones then says he does not want to take up everybody's time as we have a show to run. He thanks the fans for all their support and respect, and tells the fans to enjoy the show. And then him and me exit the ring and go backstage. And so we start up with Tony Jr. II versus Impact Wrestling's Rhino. This was a great back and forth wrestling match. Rhino did indeed go up Tony Jr. II, but he kicked out at 2.5. That's right, 2.5. And then Tony Jr. II got his momentum back, and as Tony Jr. II and Rhino traded blows back and forth. Tony Jr. II took Rhino down, and he gave him a scoop slam, a hurricane rana, and a European uppercut. And then he gave him a spear and a jackhammer. Went to pin him, but Rhino got a shoulder up. Rhino then gored Tony Jr. II down as he went to pin him, but somehow, someway, Tony Jr. II gets a shoulder up, but and delivers a devastating spine buster to Wino, goes to pin him, but Wino kicks out at 2.5. And Wino is about to go Tony Jr. II again, but Tony Jr. II blocks it and gives Wino a devastating, gives Wino a big boot and finishes him off with a moonsault from the top rope and pins him 1, 2, 3. Winner of the match, Tony Jr. II, good via moonsault. So that this match lasted 10 minutes, and then after the match, Tony Jr. II and Wino shook hands as a sign of respect. And I gotta say, I am very impressed with Tony Jr. II. I mean, he is definitely proving that he indeed belongs here in the NWS Revolution. And I'm looking forward to seeing what more Tony Jr. II can do here in the NWS Revolution. Sure. And then it was the second match. Take it away, Mr. Dan Lambert. Oh, man. Thank you, Michael Cole. And all I, Dan Lambert, got to say is to Tony Jr. II and the American Mercenaries, welcome to the NWS Revolution. I am looking forward to seeing what more you can do here in the NWS Revolution. As the second match was for the NWS Tag Team titles, Devon the Demon and Legion versus the Young Bucks from AEW. This was the second match as Devon and Legion, Matt and Nick Jackson, squared off with Devon and Legion, punching them down and hit the Young Bucks with a body slam and DDT as Matt and Nick Jackson give Devon and Legion a powerbomb into the turnbuckles, then an aided drop kick and corkscrew neckbreaker, then a crazy dive in sync with a springboard splash and wheelbarrow hold. Matt super kicks Devon and Legion, then hits them with multiple Northern Lights suplex and spear as Nick gives Devon and Legion a super kick and step up high knee and slingshot sit out facebuster. Nick delivers the 450 splash. Matt plants the worst case scenario as the Young Bucks go to pin him up. Devon and Legion kick out at 2.5 and gain their momentum back as they hit the Young Bucks with an aided suplex and double and belly the back combinations with then bear hook combinations, then a double cut and battering am with a meeting of the Mios as Devon choke slams and tombstone pile drivers the Young Bucks. Legion delivers the last right, and Devon Legion finish off the Young Bucks with the Doomsday device and retain the NWS Tag Team titles. Winner and still NWS Tag Team champions, Devon the Demon and Legion via pinfall with Doomsday device as this match lasted 15 minutes and 23 seconds. Great match. I mean, Devon the Demon and Legion are doing wonders with the NWS Tag Team titles. And then in the office of NWS Revolution owner, chairman, CEO Scott Casey Gale, also known as ScottyBadBones, co-owner 40th President Donald J. Trump, general manager of NWS World Heavyweight Champion Cody Mercer, and COO Shane McMahon, director of operations Michael Miner, head of creative Triple H. May say that Matt they talk about how good that match was in the new era in NWS Revolution being open fight night. Mercer says he has a great idea in his head, but he will mention his next promo. Trust me, you will love it. And then Vinny Joe and the American Mercenaries are giving Johnny Da Vinci a pep talk and motivating him, saying Johnny is in a handicap match and needs to watch his back before Johnny gets ready to wrestle. They need to respond to Mitchell Mayette and the Dark Carnival. Vinny says, who the hell does Mitchell Mayette think he is, interrupting us and talking us down last week, calling us gangster wannabes? Do you not know what happens when you disrespect us? Do you not know what we are capable of and what we can do if you rub us the wrong way? I guess you don't. So we suggest, and we strongly suggest you tread lightly, or you not like the repercussions. And they mean business. As 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 Joe Galli and me plug the next match. Now this is before Joe Galli was attacked later on. But anyway, Michael Cole is gonna give you his review of the next match. Take it away, Michael Cole. Thank you, Joe Galli. The next match was indeed Johnny Da Vinci with Vinny Jones corner versus Lion King X and JJ with Don Callis in the corner. This was the third match as Johnny Da Vinci comes out first, then Lion accompanied by Vinny Joe, then Lion King X and JJ accompanied by Don Callis. The match is underway as Lion King X and JJ attack Johnny Da Vinci and double team and beat him down as they low blow him, give him several punches and plant him with the spike pouch of golden pin, but Johnny Da Vinci has his foot on the ropes as he fights off Lion King X and JJ, slams their head, and all four turnbuckles, chops him in the chest as he gives Lion King X and JJ back body drops and a fallaway slams and an integral with back breaks and scoop slams and a flying elbow, but with a power slam, and as Johnny Da Vinci drops Lion King X and JJ with the death sentence and pins them 1, 2, 3 via sitting on them. Winner Johnny Da Vinci via pin for death sentence as this match lasted 11 minutes. After the match, Mitchell Mayette comes out and attacks Johnny Da Vinci. Jackknife powerbombs and plants up the victory startup and has the Dark Carnival come out to take up Vinny Joe and Tony Jr. second and plant up the finishers. Well, I don't know why Mitchell Mayette and the Dark Carnival did that, but later on in the night, let's just say the American Mercenaries definitely got their revenge on Mitchell Mayette and the Dark Carnival. But anyway, Johnny Da Vinci is so far 2-0 here in the NWS Revolution. This guy definitely has a future here in the NWS Revolution. I could see him being a future world champion sometime down the road. Hell, I can see Johnny Da Vinci and Tony Jr. II. I could see them as a tag team and becoming future tag team champions. I mean, the American Mercenaries are very, very impressive, and that's just, and as they say, you don't want to rub them the wrong way. And then NWS head of town relations Michael Cole get an interview with Mitchell Mayette at the interview desk, ask him why did he and the Dark Carnival do that. Mayette says to send the American Mercenaries a strong message to prove his point of what he meant last week by saying they're nothing more than a bunch of gangster mafia wannabes. And he is exactly right. He's going to show Johnny Da Vinci what he is capable of at Halloween Horrors. Mayette then says tonight is open fight, and he's looking for a fight. Out comes Queen's Xavier Reed as he gets on the mic, says he does his talking in the ring. Put up a shut up, and he drops the mic. And then match number 4 was booked. It was Queen's Xavier Reed versus Mitchell Mayette. Wiggle didn't join Joe Galli and Dan Lambert on commentary for this match. Take it away, Dan Lambert. Thank you, Michael Cole. It was Queen Xavier Reed versus Mitchell Mayette was the 4th match. As it started off with Queen and Mayette trade blows and was so back and forth with Credence pounding away on Mayette and giving him 16 suplexes, a brainbuster. Mitchell Mayette punches Credence, gives him a running knee and bulldog and a Japanese arm drag and armpit slam and giant swing. Credence comes back with a gorilla press slam and jawbreaker and pump handle drop and pump handle slam. Then a snake eyes and snapmare as Mayette comes back with a shin breaker and locks Credence in the STF, but he does not submit as he locks Mayette and the Cobra Clutch, but he does not tap on and breaks the hold and fights Credence off the jackknife powerbomb, delivers the victory star drop and is about to pin him, but the American Mercenaries slowly walk down the walkway, recovering from their beat up and distract Mayette as Vinny Joe distracts the referee, allowing Tony Jr. II and John Da Vinci to attack Mayette and beat him down as payback. They punch him down several times, stop away him. Then a body slam mercenary death drop from the top turnbuckle shades of the Dudley drop. Death drop, as I Dan Lambert mentioned on commentary, allowing Queens to take advantage and mountain bomb Mayette and nail the Queen stab and get the pinfall. Winner Queen's Xavier Reed via pinfall. The Queen stab was this match lasted 18 minutes and 29 seconds. William Regal leaves the commentary table and helps Mayette to the back. And then Michael Cole, get an interview with the American Mercenaries, ask them what they was to the Dark Carnival. Vinny Joe says, with all due respect, like I am doing a great job as head of NWS Talent Relations and interview, but we will give Mayette an answer in the next promo in the NWS Revolution channel. No worries, John Da Vinci. She will take care of Mitchell Mayette, Halloween horse, and teach him this. But however, Tony Jr. II and Vinny Joe did indeed give Mitchell Mayette and the Dark Carnival his answer in an earlier promo today. Now all we need to do is hear what Mitchell Mayette has to say in his next promo. Will he accept the challenge from the American Mercenaries? And who is going to team up with Mitchell Mayette? Who is going to be Mitchell Mayette's tag team partner? And then this is when Joe Galli was unfortunately attacked. And this is and I have a hard time reading this, but I'm gonna have to read this. So Joe Galli gets an interview with 46th President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris at the interview desk, and as they come out to loud boos from the Arizona crowd, Kamala Harris tells the crowd to please shut up and show respect as she responds to NWS Revolution owner, chairman, and CEO Scott Gale, also known as ScottyBadBones, calling him a parasite and four-eyed Republican conservative nerd who thinks he is all that, but is nothing more than a disrespectful loser who wants his mouth and should get hit by a bus and die in a hole. Really, Kamala Harris, you have the audacity to say that about ScottyBadBones? Who the hell do you think you are? And Joe Galli didn't indeed call you out for it. As he said, come on now, Madam Vice President, that is uncalled for. And I agree with Joe Galli. Kamala Harris yells at Joe Galli and says, I'm talking, don't interrupt me. I am the Vice President of the United States. Joe Galli says, yes, we know who you are. As I say on commentary, she is the worst Vice President ever. Kamala then berates Joe Galli, saying she is still talking, then berates me, Dan Lambert, saying that she can read lips. Don't disrespect me. Kamala then says she will beat ScottyBadBones at Halloween Horrors, and that's it. Joe Biden then gets on the mic and says he can't believe he shares the same first name with Joe Galli and calls him a stupid son of a bitch commentator, and he calls me, Dan Lambert, an idiot color commentator. Joe Galli says, well, no offense, but you are the worst president of all time. As I, Dan Lambert, agree with Joe Galli, Joe Biden tells Joe Galli to do his job and be professional. As last week in this interview with Michael Cole, he threw out an open challenge, but so far nobody has accepted. And then he says everyone must be afraid of him. Joe Galli says that's not true. But Joe Biden then grabs Joe Galli by the collar and says, you are really getting on my nerves. Maybe it's you, Joe Galli, who should accept my open challenge. As he gets in his face, Vice President Kamala Harris low blows Joe Galli from behind and snaps him. As I, Dan Lambert, young commentator, hey, as Joe Biden shoves Joe Galli down and punches him and grabs him by the collar again and punches him again. I, Dan Lambert, would try to come to Joe Galli's aid, but I am being held back by Michael Rapaport and Don Callis as they prevent me from helping Joe Galli. Vice President Kamala Harris locks Joe Galli in the lockjaw and plans him to stop as Joe Biden kicks Joe Galli and BKOs him. Lion King X and JJ come down and start attacking Joe Galli and drop him with the spike pile driver as they are about to put an unconscious Joe Galli through a table, but the American Mercenaries, Elite Reach of Doctors, and Sons of Chaos chase the NWS Avengers away and force Michael Rapaport and Don Callis to release me, Dan Lambert. As they do, then Michael Rapaport, out of nowhere, sneaks inside the ring and drops an unconscious Joe Galli with the Rapaport cushion finale. And of course, Don Callis super kicks Joe Galli and plants him with the diving knee jump. Then Sir Rob Knight II comes out and tells Joe Biden, why don't you pick on somebody your own size, and challenges him to a match. And of course, Joe Biden accepts. As Lion King X and JJ are taken away and arrested by NWS law enforcement. Dan Lambert, am checking on my broadcast colleague Joe Galli as I help him do the back as he's being checked in by the medical staff. Joe Galli is then loaded on the stretcher and put in the ambulance and taken to the medical facility. As Dan Lambert decided to go with him for a while. ScottyBadBones and Cody Mercer asked Michael Cole to fill in for Joe Galli. And then Michael Cole says, I'm commenting what Joe Biden Kamala Harris did to Joe Galli was absolutely deplorable and distasteful, and there will be repercussions for their actions as they plug the next match. And I agree. And I got to say, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, NWS Avengers, that attack that you did to Joe Galli for doing his job was indeed disrespectful and disgusting and distasteful and will not go down. Joe Galli is my friend. Ever since Joe Galli joined me on commentary, he's been a breath of fresh air. The NWS Revolution fans love me and Joe Galli as a commentary duo. We've been called the best commentary duo in the NWS Revolution. And you cowards in the NWS Avengers want to put your hands on an NWS announcer, an official. Well, as ScottyBadBones has said, that goes against the NWS Revolution rulebooks and will not be tolerated anymore. And oh boy, did karma come to Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, and it came to them big time. And I just got done talking to Joe Galli's doctor. He unfortunately he did suffer a neck injury, and Joe Galli will indeed have surgery in the morning, and he's gonna have to stay in the hospital for at least a week or so until he fully recovers. So it's gonna be a while before you hear Joe Galli on commentary. But in the meantime, NWS head of talent relations Michael Cole will indeed be filling in for Joe Galli. But Joe Galli will, but once Joe Galli comes back, let's just say he will be pressing charges. And Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, and the NWS Avengers got a huge lawsuit from Joe Galli coming their way. Ho 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 ho. It's not going well for the NWS Avengers now, is it? It's just, every single time they think they get the last lap, let's just say their last lap backfires in their face. Anyway, it was the next match was Sir Robert Knight II versus 46th President of the United States Joe Biden with Don Carlson, 49th Vice President Kamala Harris. Sir Robert Knight II and President Joe Biden trade blows with Robert Knight II slamming Joe Biden's head him out for turnbuckles, then chops him in the chest multiple times as he locks him in the figure four. Biden reaches the ropes and breaks Robert Knight II in the eyes, breaks the hold as he stomps on him and gives him leg chops. Biden knocks Knight II in a sharpshooter, but he does not tap out and gets out of it and gives Biden a diving bulldog and leapfrog as Biden fights off Knight II and gives him a half Nelson driver, then an inverted airplane spin, then a flapjack. Biden kicks Sir Robert Knight II and BKOs him, goes to pin him, but Robert Knight II gets a shoulder up and hits Biden with an Olympic slam. Don Carlson, Kamala Harris interfere, but are taken out by Robert Knight II. He then drops Joe Biden, the cold breaker, and gets the pinfall. Winner, Sir Robert Knight II, via pinfall with cold breaker as this match lasted 15 minutes and 34 seconds. And it was a good match because Joe Biden got what he deserved. And then we jump to the arena as I am shown talking to Scott, Casey Gale, and Cody Mercer, saying Joe Galli will have to stay in the hospital tonight for medical examinations, and the doctors and nurses will determine if Joe Galli can return to work, and says something needs to be done about Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, and the NWS Avengers actions. As Scott, Casey Gale, and Cody Mercer agree and say something will definitely be done about the actions. Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, and the NWS Avengers will definitely be reprimanded and fined, then punished, no questions asked. Mercer says they will be punished big time. Then Mercer and Scott say they will make they would indeed make a video about it, as they did indeed make a video about it. And then Mike then I go join Michael Cole for do commentary theory for the Western night, as I did indeed provide an update on Joe Galli to the NWS Revolution fans. As me and Michael Cole plug the next match, go over the rules. Take it away, Michael Cole. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Joe Galli. Thank you, Joe Galli. The next match was match number 5, and it was for the NWS Universal Championship in a submission match. It was Psycho Mercer. It was Psycho Mercer versus Michael Rapaport. It was Psycho Mercer versus Michael Rapaport in a submission match. This was the 6th match. As Psycho beats the hell out of Michael Rapaport for dropping Joe Galli with the Rapaport crushing finale. Earlier today, he then locks him in the Boston Crab, but Michael Rapaport breaks the hold like Psycho Mercer in the whistle. But before he does that, he drops Michael Rapaport with a Psycho stun and Psycho bombs him, then locks him in the Boston Crab. But Rapaport breaks the hold and locks him in the whistle. Then a chicken wing, but Psycho refuses to tap out as he locks Rapaport in the neck quick, very tight. But Rapaport is not submitting. He breaks the hold and locks Psycho Mercer in an armbar, then a hammerlock and a leg lock. But Psycho Mercer will not give up as he locks Michael Rapaport in the omoplata as Rapaport comes back to submit comes very close to submitting, but is able to reach the ropes. As this match goes on for 60 more minutes with submission after submission, Psycho Mercer locks Mercer in the chin lock and Gale lock and more dangerous submission holds, and in the end locks Rapaport in the coquina clutch, forcing Michael Rapaport to finally submit, winner and still NWS Universal Champion Psycho Mercer. Severe submission to the coquina clutch as this match lasted 20 minutes and 44 seconds. And it was a good match. And I gotta say, Michael Rapaport deserved to be forced to tap out. Psycho Mercer doesn't mess him out. Psycho Mercer is doing a good job as the Universal Champion, and oh boy, and then later on in the night, oh boy, did karma come for Michael Rapaport in a big, big way. But oh boy, Michael Rapaport and the NWS Adventures opened Pandora's box, and they did not like the end result, which me and Dan Abel will get to later on. And now the next match, was the co-main event. I take it away, Dan Lambert. Oh. Thank you, Joe Galli. The co-main event was for the World Heavyweight title was Cody Mercer versus Kenny Omega. This was the co-main event as Cody Mercer and Kenny Omega wrestled back and forth. Mercer gives Omega bench presses and elbow strikes. And elbow strikes, then a missile drop kick. Omega comes back for 450 smash and Katawa crush and multiple suplex variations, and then a Wayne trigger and reverse Frankenstein and buys the German and springboard moonsault. Then a knee trigger as he plants Mercer with the one-winged angel and quick sweep, goes to pin it, but Mercer has his foot on the rope as he and Kenny Omega trade blows. Mercer opens a can of whoop on Omega, then drops him on those stacker dives. He covers the neck, spears, and jackhammers Omega, then locks him in the sharpshooter, but Omega refuses to tap out and reaches the ropes and locks Mercer in a rear naked chokehold, and Mercer does not stop and gets out of and gives Omega an atomic drop, then a face burst and hurricane runner uppercut. Mercer and Omega Mercer with move after move and submission after submission as Omega nails Mercer for one winged angel as he goes to pin him, but Mercer gets his shoulder up as me and Michael Cole calling this match with true wrestling passion and emotion. Don Callis, Kenny Omega's manager, gets on the ring apron only to get punched in the face by Mercer as Omega gets a roll up, but Mercer kicks out at two. They continue to wrestle back and forth as Mercer comes up with new signature moves such as on Omega, such as the Black Hole Slam, pedigree, and heat-seeking double cross rolling cut and swanton bomb. As he then Mercer stutters Omega, tombstone power drives him, and then nails the Mercer footprint and pins Kenny Omega 1, 2, 3, and retains the NWS World Heavyweight Champion as I Dan Abbott saying, commentary, Mercer delivered the Mercer footprint and Kenny Omega in the footprint center, the pun. And this was indeed a good match. I mean, Mercer is proving why he deserves to be the World Heavyweight. Why he deserves to be the World Heavyweight Champion. He deserves that. I mean, Don Callis tried to interfere, but he ended up getting knocked off the ring apron. I mean, Kenny Omega, I mean, he is a good wrestler, but he can't beat Cody Mercer. And the next match was the main event. It was Scott Casey Gale, also known as ScottyBadBones, with NWS Head of Talent Relations Michael Corner's Corner versus Don Callis. Take it away, Michael Cohen. Don Callis didn't. Thank you, Dan. Now, but yes, the main event was indeed Scott Casey Gale, also known as ScottyBadBones, versus Don Callis, who had Joe Biden Kamala Harris in his corner. This was the main event as Don Callis comes out first with Joe Biden and Kamala Harris to match the Bruce, and ScottyBadBones comes up accompanied by me, Michael Cole. The main event is underway. I go back to the announce table to do commentary with Dan Abbott. ScottyBadBones tackles Don Callis down and beats the hell out of him as payback for Joe Galli, and tosses Don Callis all over the ring, bio-throws him, then gives him an arm twist, rope walk twist, and the spine buster. The locks him in the mushroom stop and locks Callis in the guillotine choke as Callis is trying to get out of it and passes out. But ScottyBadBones throws water in Don Callis' face and low blows as Don Callis fights back and low blows ScottyBadBones and plants a running knee that goes to pin, but ScottyBadBones gets his shoulder up and F5s Don Callis, then axe kicks him as he delivers the frog splash as Ice Sand comes to shades of the late Eddie Guerrero, and ScottyBadBones finishes Don Callis off with the RKO, shades of Randy Orton and shades of the late Scooter St. William. Winner ScottyBadBones via pinfall with frog splash and RKO as this match lasted 16 minutes and 39 seconds. ScottyBadBones then gets on the mic and says he beat Don Callis. Next week he will face Joe Biden and Kamala Harris in a handicap street fight bloodbath match. And then ScottyBadBones mentions every NWS Avengers members who are on his hit list. And then ScottyBadBones says this is payback for what the NWS Avengers did. The playback by Commentator Joe Galli will not be tolerated. And he said what the NWS Avengers did to Joe Galli will definitely not be tolerated and will not go down unpunished. As Joe Biden Kamala Harris will indeed face the worst punishment ever as he and General Manager the World Heavyweight Champion Cody Mercer will decide to punch him in the video, and as they did, but earlier today, but he does have a surprise in store for Biden Harris tonight as he signals for something. The lights go out and go back on, and a huge drop of blood comes splashing down on President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris, giving them a bloodbath. Don Carlos, who slowly tries to get up, gets a bloodbath as well and passes out again. Then Michael Rapaport comes down only to get a bloodbath, as well as a major beatdown from Cody Mercer, Psycho Mercer, the Elite Witch Doctors, the Sons of Chaos, and the American Mercenaries assault Michael Rapaport. And since Michael Rapaport has a bounty on his head, the whole NWS wants the beats of Michael Rapaport for all the stuff he did to the NWS Revolution. And then Vinci, Joe, and the American Mercenaries tied Michael Rapaport up, put him in a garbage bag, and load him in the back of their van, abducting him and holding him hostage. Vinny Joe says they will hold Michael Rapaport hostage until further notice. As me and Dan Abbott say, serves Michael Rapaport right up. And then the American Mercenaries then drive off with Michael Rapaport as a hostage. ScottyBadBones, Cody Mercer, Psycho Mercer, then Joe Biden, President Joe Biden, Vice President Kamala Harris was up backstage, back up the rampway and backstage in the parking lot, and they toss Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and urinals, and then tip it over, getting dirty sewage and feces out over Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. As ScottyBadBones says, payback is a bitch. I, Michael Cole, say the 46th President Joe Biden and 46th Vice President Kamala Harris have been shoved in urinals, dumped in sewage and feces. Michael Rapaport is being held hostage by the American Mercenaries until further notice. We are out of time. Good night, everybody. Dan Abbott says this might go down as one of the greatest moments on Revolution Impact in NWS Revolution history, as he thanks the fans for coming. And the show goes off the air with President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris dumped and full of sewage and feces. Oh, wow. That's exactly what they get for what they did to Joe Galli, for all the stuff that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris have done to the NWS Revolution. Did you guys actually think you were going to get away with this? Oh, no. And as ScottyBadBones did say in this promo early, there's more punishment headed their way. Sorry, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, not sorry. You got what you deserve. And I can't wait to hear what Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are going to say after getting a bloodbath, tossed in urinals, dumped in sewage and feces. I bet they are taking several showers. I bet Joe Biden is using every shampoo and conditioner he can get his hands on. I bet he's using every soap and every body shampoo. Soap and water does wonders for you. And I bet they're getting fumigated, because Joe Biden and Kamala Harris do indeed smell like shit, because they were full of shit. So it serves them right for what happened. They deserved every moment of it. And I do agree with Dan Lambert. This indeed was one of the greatest nights in Revolution Impact and NWS Revolution history. Oh boy, fans are going to be talking about this. Anyway, next week we will be in New Orleans, Louisiana, and as Cody Mercer did indeed announce, the Legends Championship tournament begins next week on Revolution Impact, and the main event will indeed be ScottyBadBones and Cody Mercer versus President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris in a tag team street fight bloodbath match. I can't wait to see that, because more payback is coming to to Joe Biden and Kamala Harris's way, and they will not like how it ends. Anyway, thank you for watching. ScottyBadBones is expected to make a promo tonight as we talking about Revolution Impact, and let's just say it's gonna be the name of the video will indeed be called ScottyBadBones Lays Down the Law, because he has a lot more to say about what Joe Biden and Kamala Harris did to Joe Galli, and more punishments that are headed their way. Anyway, you all have a good night, and you all stay classy. Dan Abbott. Yes, I loved every single moment of what happened to Joe Galli and Dan Lambert. Those bastards and those assholes in the NWS Revolution got everything they deserve for all the stuff all the damage that Joe Biden has caused to the NWS Revolution and all the damage that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris have done to the great state of America. You see, Joe Biden, just because you're the president, you see Kamala Harris, just because you're the vice president, doesn't mean you can go ahead and get away with what you did. They thought they had the last step, but oh no, ScottyBadBones and Cody Mercer and Psycho Mercer got the last laugh. And oh boy, what it was. Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, and Michael Weapon, Don Callis getting a bloodbath. At the top of it all up, the icing on the cake, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris getting a sewage bath after being shoved in the urinal. Wow. I loved every minute that the fans were cheering. And as Michael Cole was saying, I wonder what Joe Biden is going to say this week, because I know he's going to be doing a lot of complaining. Anyway, you all have a good night, and me and Michael Cole will be back next week to do our Revolution Impact review. Anyway, stay classy. Seeing you all. Peace out. And once again, thank you for watching. This is Joe Galli, and this is Michael Cole and Dan Lambert signing off. Get well, Joe Galli. Dan Lambert out.